Good morning. I was going to continue a cassette from last night that I got shut down, and I lost it. So I wake up this morning and I look at my keyboard, and the letters Z to M, okay, are below the second row. The A touches the Z on one half, and on the other side of the A it says capital locks, and then it shows two lines in a V shape on top of each other, like a hat that's on the 6th key. Okay, the S is divided between the Z and the X on the second row, and what happens is the X is the 24th letter and the Z is the 26th letter, making 50, which means like this. 50 is the 10 commandments of God, then the 10 commandments of God in beta, then the 10 commandments of God in creation, and then the 10 commandments closed out the angle of God. 10, 20, 30, 40. Now the central, the 5 position, covers all 4 sides. Okay, so you get 50. So 50, dog and cat equal 50, which means the dog, which is us the men, and the cat, which is the female creation of all this, okay, ends up to be the Spirit of God, because she's used as the Spirit of God. So 26 and 24 is 50, okay, for the 50 golden years. For the corner of your car, it's called a fender. It also has a value of 0.25, that fender. In French, it's called a wing, like the wings of the angel, okay. So that total of that 25, which means 1/4, which means angel, okay, which is above the Z to the left, which means only half of 25, which is 12.25. Okay, which is, if you want to look at 12.25, you can look at it as a 10, as angel and man 10, and the 2.5 is the angle of the diamond that connects everything, and then you end up with that amount. Now the S is above the Z and the X in between, which means the 19th, which means the spirit of birth, and Z, okay, means 6. The Z is the 26th letter, 2 and 6 is 8, it means the heaven. X is the man in the heaven, and the Spirit is what connects. On the same row as the X is the D next to the S, okay, which means the angle of Spirit, D, A, B, C, D. You see, God is all odd, right? A, C, okay, skip B. Now, after C, what do you get? You have to go to D, because it's on a, I can't even show you this, it's on 2 levels, the D. Okay, because the angles are on every level. So how can I explain this? So what happens is A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D like this, and then in some languages, you see this digital here? This digital is because of this. A and B is 1, C and D is 1. Now what you have is this. 24 hours, 59 minutes, 59 minutes. Okay, that's just what they can go in each category. 24 minutes in the day, 59 minutes plus the seconds, and then 59 seconds. I'm going to explain to you in a minute. Now, why I put the digital dots, okay, is because A and C creates B, okay, and B is the 4th angle of God. So D, although it's a number 4, it's an even number. It automatically belongs to God, and one of the reasons for it is because of this. Let's see if I have it in here. Here. You take this L and put it on top of this 1. Okay? Together it creates the 4. The L, okay, which is the 12th letter, 1 and 2 is 3, means creation of 1. It would be 3 plus 1 would be the 4 angle again. Then if you want, you can go to the 4 here. You see the angle up here and the angle down here? Well, this angle across is the dash angle on your computer, and the value of it is half. This one over here represents the Z, and that value is 13. 13 and half. is 6.5. 7.5. So we have 7.5 in this here. And we do it 2 times for both dice. Gives it 57 down, 75 up. October 4th, 2014. It's explained right in the number 4. And also, the 4 creates the 4 corners, which creates the children of God, and that shows the dollar sign. Okay, but on the 3, it shows the pound key. Now the pound key, okay, is God creates. What did He create? He created 4. How did He create 4? With the 9 lives of the cat in the pound key, because the earth, okay, is a dog. Now another thing I want to say to you is that if you ever look at the design of the Middle East, take a look at it. It's a dog with a hat on, okay, for a college hat on. He's standing up, he's got a snout sticking out, and he's a college dog out in Europe. What that college dog means in Europe, excuse me, not in Europe, in the Middle East, what that dog means in the Middle East, with the hat on it, it means they fought in the Middle East for thousands of years. They stopped fighting. They have little wars now, but that's what it is. College graduate is when you learn how to stop fighting. And now it's happening all over the world in different places. But they've been, how can I explain? Anyways, drop that. Let me get to one other thing. What happened in this world in creation is there's 1,000 different religions. God couldn't figure out what to do, so He said, you know what, let's group them up. So He let everybody create their own religion based on the 10 Commandments. And the ones that didn't include the 10 Commandments, well, they're not included in the spirit energy that comes along with it. So He made 1,000 religions. Now He said, okay, there's 1,000 religions of 6 billion different people, of 200 or more different languages. He says now the time they're going to concentrate in groups, and then once they make a group, the group becomes a ball. The group becomes a ball and is hung up in God's living room, each group. Once all these groups come together, what happens? It creates love. Because love happens to do with 4 balls. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these 4 balls, what happens during creation, okay, during creation, I'm going to show you that these are the 4 balls. Where are they? These are the 4 balls. It makes an 88. You can't get any more in there. After you make that, if you look here, there's a diamond inside. The 4 balls create a diamond between every single side. There'll be one here. There's going to be one here, one here, one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one in the center is 5. You count 4, but it creates 5 marks. 5 marks. So when you think of the German marks, and it's a different story. So anyways, what happens, those indentations, incantation, a prayer magic, it makes the V. This V, when you bring it together, okay, from the outside of the 8 shape, you end up with this X. So it's the balls of creation and the lines that surround it to create the X-Man. V, 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 V. These V's, 22 is a V letter, 22nd letter, creates 88, the same as this. This here is why love is, okay, because everything fits through it. Not only that, okay, when you put a rope around it, it becomes the hot dog, okay, because you got to take the whole line. I passed the line and made a line. That's the hot dog. Who's inside? The spirit of man, the dog, and the angel. Now, I'll do it up this way. I'll do it up this way inside the same thing. You notice the 8 that's in there, and now you got 8 dots. Well, that cross is what Christ is all about. The other thing I wanted to talk about, in which I'm going to be slowing down now, is, again, back to the keyboard. Every letter, every number, every row represents 1, 2, 3. The center row starts with an A, ends with an L. That's 1 to 12. The center of 1 to 12 would be the 6, verse 6, which would actually be the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, it doesn't work out. If I go 6, I get A, B, C, D, E, F. Now I go 7, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. You automatically get 7. And the number for the independence of man is 7 and 6. Now I came up with a few numbers last night, and I'm going to stop this cassette right now. 10 minutes is enough. I'm tired. I saw numbers come. I saw numbers last night of my dreams. I mean, numbers that went together. I can't repeat it. How it works when I have these revelations is either I write it down right away, or during my session of the next weeks, pieces and parts will come together in other situations, and I'll build on it. If you notice on your keyboard, starting at the top left is a Q for the Queen. Okay, then it's an A, and then it's a Z. Queen, Angel of Earth, Q-A-Z. 17th letter, first letter is 18. 26th letter, 18, 28, 38, total of 44. 4 angles of beta, 4 angles of God. Let's start life. On the other side, okay, we have the M, the L, and the P. The P stands for the 1-6. The 1-6 is the 16th letter. The 1 spirit is 6 man. And what happens is, if you want to understand about the 6 man, I'll try and explain to you something. Here's a piece of paper. Okay, this is the back of an electrical box. Okay, down at the bottom here. No, let me do it this way. There's 3 holes. One here, one here, one here. Now what happens with these 3 holes, okay, is God folds it. Okay, you see the 3 holes? One here, one here, one here. It's a switch in the electrical box where you take 3 islands, you put the switch up, and the switch is a jack because it's shaped like a jack, and you push the switch up, and the 3 islands from the bottom, okay, if negative, enter the 3 islands of the top of positive. Now you have all 6 islands in 3, plus the 1 spirit. You have 3-1, which is the 3rd world of the 1 spirit, and which stands for the 1 creation. It's an electronic box. The pieces of the electronic box at the top, okay, the pieces of the electronic box at the top are like this. Okay, the bottom bar comes from the bottom and it sticks in like this. And now you have 1 world created. So there's 1 connects here, 1 connects here, 1 connects here. You see this is a V. So if this is a V, this has to be an L to get right into it. This would end up to be the L, and you'd have LV, Las Vegas. You have a connection. L and V is 12 and 22, which is 34, which is the 3 angles of God. And the 3 angles of God, okay, one of the basic 3 angles of God, okay, there's many ways to look at it. This is it, because the 1 position over here ends up to be this over here. This angle fits in, this point here, it's all the way to here. Now what this makes, okay, is it shows you that it's really God who did it. Okay, and the reason it shows that God who did it, okay, is because the way to cover that angle, you see the ace on this side, 1 leg is straight, the other one is on an angle. On this one, the leg is on an angle, this one, the other one is straight. Well, all this happens in creation because when you add the A on the left to the B, everything has to bend to get over to the B. And the Y is created, okay, by the B. The Y is above the H, it's above the G, it's next to the U, it's next to the T. I'm not going to give you a story right now, okay? So basically, it's an electrical box. It's gray, okay? The gray electrical box. An electrical box is gray because it stands for the 8th heaven and the 11th spirit of man. And in horse racing, the 8 and 11 are both gray. One is standardbred, one is thoroughbred. So why do I use horse racing? It is what it is. You have to use the mathematical tools you have right in front of you. Created by every other man in the whole wide world. They gave me a mathematical pi to figure out One of the things about the mathematical pi you got to understand is hold on a second. I'm going to get a cigarette here. You see, do you remember creation, how it works? I'm going to try and show you just a little mark of how it works. You see the yellow energy is a part of electricity. Thanks for letting me smoke in my own house. Yellow energy is a part of electricity. It's a part of the yin and yang. And what happens is this design over here happens. Okay? This is like a pogo stick. Beta world's over here. The energy, okay, comes from here, in which looks like this. So the energy comes in, So the energy comes to here, spreads out, and down here, creating a 1 and a 1. Okay, now I'm going to show you the 1 and 1. I feel like I have to rush all the time. So now what you see when you put the 1 and 1 to here, if you look at it, it's actually a hexagon beehive. This, at the top, is a lightning rod. It's God's lightning rod to get the power from the universe, okay? To get the power from the universe. Now, how did God build this? Okay, get this power of the universe. There's something over here. Anyways, those angles all create the letter V. And those are the corners of the dice that were cut out. Okay, so God needs the energy, okay, right here. That's why the chicken is on top of the church. For the red cock, the cock got red because of the yellow energy that went through him and he burnt off his feet. That's why you see his feet the way it is. So a chicken's foot is this, this, and this. That's the chicken's foot. And this is the electricity. So who discovered electricity in this world? Whoever discovered electricity in this world, follow him. You will find parts of creation of this world all over. Is it Benjamin Franklin, or was he on the money? Who's on the money? What did they discover? And that's the value of that bill. Who's on money? Who's on money? Another thing I wanted to talk about is the banker. You see, when you have money, you can go out and buy things. When you have no money, you can't go out. So the banker gets a lot of money so he can redistribute it to get more money, to redistribute it and grow. Now, if he decides he doesn't want to make that loan, well, guess what? You ain't got no money and no one has any money. Now what happens is the world starts to separate. The rich who have learned from God, they learned from God, the rich, okay? They learned how to put things together and they became rich. Now, did they become greedy with all of this? That's the question. So this is what happens. If we don't fix this earth now, okay, God is going to come down and he's going to say to the banker, he's going to say, hey banker, my kids have no food. Why don't you buy them some food? And the banker, which is like in Christaburgh, singing that song, okay, playing against the devil because the game of life is a bluff. And he plays against the devil and the devil says to him, forget it. He says, you're not special. He says, so what? He says to God. So he gives no one money. God says like this, okay, if you don't give money to all my children, I'm going to take them all away from here. I'm not going to leave you with any of my children on earth. We're going to end this whole thing on earth. It's all over. The banker won't share. It's the money. You see, God put the children here. The banker used the children, and then he won't help them anymore. Okay, the children help the banker to get rich. Now the banker won't help them to survive. So God has to help them to survive. So he comes down here to try and break a deal. Give some money to the world. Let's continue this life. It's a correctional center. We need it. And he says no. So they said, you know what? We're going to settle this over a game of poker. And who stepped in? christaburgh. He stepped in to sing the song. Starting from Algiers to wherever he is. But that is the final note of our life. I'm going to study that song of christaburgh and the Spanish train. Because the Spanish train is a train of love. You see, the banker, he loves his money. And God, well, He loves his children. So the Spanish Train is a game of love and war at the same time. Spanish Train, spirit transition. God, God, G-O-D. Do you know what the game is all about? G-A-M-E. Okay, we're going to use the G, okay, to go, or for God. The angel of man in the E world spells game. So anyways, God will play cards with the devil. He will sit down with the devil. He will play with the devil. He has no choice. Okay, God's not on our world, and is the only way for us to go up is for all of us to pass away. Okay, unless you unite with all the churches, you become strong, and the strength helps with God, and it pushes the banker back into the hole. The groundhog. Groundhog Day, 6 more weeks left of winter. 6 man, month of February for man, for beta on the 14th. We got to play with the banker, my friends. The banker is red in the face, like a red devil, because he's a little embarrassed and he's got to win. So in order for him to win, he's got to cheat. Now you want to know why God had a queen, a jack, a 10, and not the 9? He needed the 9 for the 8 for the straight. Why didn't he choose another card? I'm going to explain to you what the 8 means. The 8 means is when God made creation, the D angle, okay, closes off the 4th angle of the heavens, which is down at the bottom on your keyboard. So, I'm tired. So what happens is nothing's finished in creation until that 8 is finished. So the hole inside the ground leaves the hole to go to the dead. So that's why God needed that 8. Okay? The whole thing is, the only way to plug that hole, okay, is with getting a royal flush. Because the 8 diamond doesn't connect to any of the other spades. So therefore you can't close the hole, and the devil can still go for the souls of the dead. Soul of dead, spirit of life, soul of dead. Because it's the soul of dead, okay, that gets reborn again. Inside the spirit. Up in the heavens. A spirit of God. That instead of being born as a spirit here as a lion, you're reborn inside an egg with angles. And all these little pokes that stick out. How can I do this? This is what happens. See this? This here? When the egg wants to stop rolling, these lines come out and he stops rolling. When he wants to jump, he puts 2 lines together. There's elastic bands between this. Okay? Just like the golf ball. So he pulls and he pushes and he gets to bounce and go where he wants. Is that the way we're going to be in heaven? That's the way we're here in this earth. We're a little ball inside our head. These are our extensions. We walk and we push and we touch with these. We're going to get something like it. We're going to get a system like a skull. You put something in the skull. We have skull bones, okay? Put something in the skull, and that's life. It's almost like plugging in electricity. We're full of electricity and water, and the water can be changed all the time. We just have to flush the water and put in more, like a radiator. What else is there? There's so many things, so many things. When you play the end game in Monopoly, the 4 corners of life, okay, is go, jail, visiting jail, and free parking. You collect 200 here. You collect 500 they put in here. 200 here for beta, 500 here to start the game. Isn't that the way it works? 200 and 500? Okay? But jail gets 500, and visiting jail gets 500. 500 and 500 and 200 is 1,200, and 200 is 1,400. Altogether, they make the creation connection to our world. 2, 7, 7, and then God jail 10, 7 and 10, and 7 and 17, 24 and 10, 37, the creation of life. 3 and 7 is 10. 3 times 7 is 21, which makes 31, 1 spirit and 3 creation. There's a lot, there's so much, there's a lot, there's so much. Alexander Graham Bell. Yellow. I was thinking about yellow. How does yellow come out of the earth? What's inside the earth, the yellow? Well, I think the earth and the sky is basically the same thing, except the sky is an ocean of air and bubbles carrying particles of the earth in it, and when they rub together in lightning, it creates the yellow lightning and creates the yellow energy for the yellow earth, for the yellow man, for the golden boy. Because gold and silver is exactly the water, and the gold is actually the earth that come together in the sky, added whatever elements that are with it, and you get the lightning bolt, and you get yellow from both. So you get yellow energy, and we grow out of the earth, and then we get the current electrical energy of the earth inside the water, in the air of space of the universe, creating the electricity to grow us out of the ground, just like fruits and vegetables. So that lightning rod and earth and the sky are one, because particles of earth are in the sky. They turn in they turn and they turn and they turn and they turn until they create a big ball, until the ball gets heavy and it gets blown away, and we got another planet created. Have a nice afternoon. 7286. Everything is good. Everything is good from now on until I think it's the 16th of September. September. I'm not sure if it's 2015 or 2016. It's the new spirit that comes in. I have to check the Jewish holidays to know. I have to run this by the Jewish holidays. It might start on a Wednesday, Tuesday, or Friday, because the Jewish holidays in Yom Kippur, a Wednesday and a Tuesday. In one holiday, it's never Wednesday. In the other holiday, it's never Tuesday. One is for the chosen, and one is for the miracle. Chosen is Tuesday, Wednesday is the miracle. And we never have it on those days. And I'm thinking, okay, for Yom Kippur of 2016, it's going to be a miracle of some sort. Although there's a miracle that's going to happen before that date of Yom Kippur, it's just, how can I say it? It's a miracle. It's just a miracle. 1/6 September 2016, 797. Perfect. Okay, we're all done here for this afternoon. Take care. Remember, your first guess is most likely the best guess. One of the reasons is because if you're right and you have changed it, you will be mad at yourself. Why did I change it? I can't believe I was right. And then all this talk that we're doing now is lost talk. Okay? It's because you made a poor decision of some sort. Now it makes you think and use up your time thinking of something that you did, and you're not advancing. But at the same time, you're looking into the understanding of what had happened for the future. So it works both ways if you can just get it in here. Thank you very much. I think I would like to stick it all together and fix all. This whole world has to be white and a navy blue, the same way it started. The navy blue of beta, in the oceans of the sky, we fix it all. Thank you.